Celebrating Women's History on Wish TV. Brought to you by LCS Heating and Cooling, McDonald's, and LENNAR Homes.
Well, there's a lot of talk about diversity these days, but Tamara Winfrey Harris says don't just talk about it, be about it. And that's what she does at the Central Indiana Community Foundation.
She's also an author who puts a specific focus on Black women and girls. News 8's multicultural reporter Katira Winfrey has today's Celebrating Women's report.
Well, Winfrey Harris says even in 2021, Black women and girls often don't see a lot of representation of themselves in mainstream media. She says working with the CICF is the first time that with her work and study, she's been able to highlight the way Black women and girls have been marginalized.
Straight A's and the ones who skip school.
This book is a collection of letters called Dear Black Girl. Tamara Winfrey Harris is the author.
We are sisters, Black girl. We have to take care of ourselves and each other. You are me, I am you, we are all right.
Winfrey Harris is also the Vice President of Community Leadership and Effective Philanthropy for the Central Indiana Community Foundation. The agency recently changed its mission to create equitable opportunities for community members of all races and genders. Her passion for community is what drives her.
A lot of organizations talk about diversity, especially now, but I am excited at the passion and the work that CICF is putting behind it to actually change culture, not just talk about it, but also be about it and use our social capital to make change.
But even more, her passion to give Black women and Black girls a voice. She says Black women often face double the challenges, racism and sexism. This book takes aim at that and more. So this is your second book that you've been able to write. Walk us through some of what readers can expect to see when they open it up.
I wanted Black girls to see themselves in the book in all the ways they show up in the world. And so I found women to talk about, friendship. I found women to talk about work. I found women to talk about relationships with their parents, or being in a non-traditional family, being raised by grandparents or being adopted. I found, women to talk about being trans, and women to talk about being queer, women to talk about having dark brown skin. I want as many girls as possible to feel like this reflects my experience. I love you, Black girl.
This is her second book, but feeds on some of the topics in her first, The Sisters Are All Right, drawing focus to core stereotypes about Black women that impact how employers, partners, and the world see them. She says foundations like the CICF
I love the girls in the library and the ones on the basketball court.
Has a duty to address that in communities by actually talking to community members. For people who are not familiar with the Black girl experience or the African American experience, what can our teachers, our caregivers, or people who come from different backgrounds get from reading these books?
If you're a counselor, if you're a teacher, I think, very often the reason I write my books is because very often people talk at us or talk about us, but don't listen to what we have to say. So I think one of the first steps of anyone who thinks they're an ally is to listen, and to listen to what these Black women have to say.
It all boils down to a simple idea. Let girls and women know they are whole as they are. And Winfrey Harris says continued work in diversifying workplaces and organizations across the board can help change the narrative and provide safe spaces for women. Reporting in the studio, Katira Winfrey, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.